And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with our football segment of episode 223 of the Splash Cast Monday Night Raw. I apologize. I was loud during the interlude. That'll be edited out anyway. So, with that being said, we got a few things we're going to talk about today in football. Who knew that the football, or at least I didn't know, I didn't remember, I don't remember that football had changed their schedule a little bit to have an NBA like almost tamper period and early free agent signing.
You gotta fight back.
Free agent signing period. So the last, is it 2 weeks? Yeah, last 2 weeks, they opened up free agency and you were allowed to cut players and designate them. You could cut them now or you could cut them June 1st, but you designated who was going to be cut, and those players could then go negotiate and go get other contracts. So there was a lot of movement in free agency, which totally caught me off guard. And the Falcons made moves, so we're gonna do the Falcons focus first. The Falcons made moves, but then there were some big moves and unmoves, Baltimore, in the NFL. So I am excited for this. We'll start out with the Falcons focus. So we hired Ian Cunningham, who is our new general manager, came over from the Chicago Bears, report straight to Matt Ryan, who is the president of football operations. We brought in Kevin Stefanski as our head coach, who brought in his entire staff, and we are now looking like, administration-wise, the Cleveland Browns of 2020, of Stefanski's tenure. In a surprising move, or unsurprising move to some, we decided to bring in offense. We switched up offense. Ian Cunningham's philosophy was raise the floor is what he wanted to do. He wanted to have talent across the board, and he thought that there was a kind of a drop off in talent from the first to second string, second to third string, like that. And he wanted to clear the books as well. And we only had 5 picks. So he was going to use free agency to get the depth so that we can then use those 5 picks effectively, is what he basically said. I like that philosophy. On offense, the big hire, and we talked about all this. So we're talking about offense real quick. Really going to focus on defense today. We hired Tua. We signed Tua. Brought in Austin Hooper, brought in just Jahan Dotson, old school Olamide Zaccheaus, and Corey Levin as well at offensive line. All of those players are salary cap relief and depth pieces. Tua is going to fight for the first string, but Tua, in all honesty, was brought to push Michael Penix so that Penix will get the first string, is what everybody hopes in an ideal world. Austin Hooper. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Arthur Blank said Michael Penix is the number 1 quarterback. He paid the bills. His name is on everybody's check. He got the ability to fire everybody. And last time I checked, he fired everybody. So until he say otherwise, Michael Penix, QB1. Put him in there.
Yeah, he definitely cleaned the house, so to say, so to speak. If
you don't want to be clean next, then make a good decision.
Definitely. So Matt Ryan brought in a Zaccheaus and Austin Hooper from, if you remember, those guys were all on the teams when we made that Super Bowl run. Austin Hooper, I think, was either a rookie or a second-year player on that team. He's been a reliable player. Got him for cheap. We weren't going to be able to keep Charlie Warner. He was going to end up getting paid more money, and we decided to go with Austin Hooper. I hated that we lost Warner, though.
Did anybody sign Charlie Warner yet?
I don't think so. Bring him back.
I'm gonna say this now, and I'm gonna try to give myself a little bit of grace. The only thing that keeps me kind of believing is the Atlanta Hawks. And we got rid of some high-end pieces with the Atlanta Hawks, and we got what we consider to be floor raisers, and they've absolutely raised the floor. I am praying feverishly The same thing happens over here where you take your CJ McCollum equivalent guy, you take your Corey Kispert equivalent guy, you take your Jock Londale equivalent guy, you make those transactions, and they actually just all play pretty good and make this team pretty good. That's what I'm praying for.
All puzzle pieces to fit around the stars, right?
Correct.
So and then Jahan Dotson, this one caught me off guard a little bit. I still think he's more of a wide receiver 3 slot guy. But when you have Kyle Pitts, who can split out and basically be your Z, you can now, along with Olamide Zaccheaus, you can now kind of run them around in 3 wide. You can have Bijan in there, and it just gives you depth pieces. Because once we lost Ray last year, we were searching for a third receiver. Even though I think we should have gave David Sills another run, but I don't know if he's under contract.
And play all the good players at one time, big dog. We don't got nobody who need to be on the bench. If you good and breathing, get your ass out there.
Yeah. Got a lot of depth. So I expect us to use the draft to really try to find those next players.
All 5
And
picks.
then there's Elijah Wilkerson. Elijah Wilkerson went scorched earth on Falcons fans after he got released and then tendered. I'm sorry, and then signed with the Cardinals. That was hilarious to say the least. But let me tell you, we ain't gonna miss you. False start, big false, big false. We ain't gonna remember. We don't care. But it was just.
Let me tell you, Elijah Wilkerson, your best football is behind you. You winning is over with. You can talk about the Falcons all you very well please. You about to do a lot of losing. A ton of it. Ain't they in the NFC West?
NFC West, no Kyler Murray. Now they got Jacoby Brissett, but
you got a career. Now, and I love Jacoby Brissett. I think that he should have been a starter a long time ago. But that means he's missed his opportunity to start many moons ago. You got a career backup in the NFC West. You're going to deal with the Super Bowl champs. You're going to deal with McVay. And you're going to deal with, who am I missing?
Shanahan.
Oh, so yeah. Cool. I can tell you what the Falcons won't be. Won't be far from the NFC South. Won't be it. You are a doormat. You finna get stomped out like punk music. Let me tell you. Enjoy it. I got this new thing. I wish the absolute best for you. Best of luck. You're not my problem no more. No.
Yeah, I just wish we played.
I don't want to have no more conversations with people who don't matter to me.
Radio silent. You dead to me?
Right.
You'll be dead. You'll be dead in a year, Kid Ray.
Exactly.
But for real, other than offense, that's really all we did on offense. Everything else is going to be geared toward re-signing and probably adding in the draft. Well, what I really wanted to do was go to let's go ahead and remove Daniel Jones. We'll talk about Lieutenant Dan later.
You mean Kirk Cousins?
My boy ain't got no legs. Defense. yeah. Hedge fund. Defense. I talked about it earlier. We did not keep Kaden Ellis. He went back to the Saints, and then everybody knows what's going on with JPJ. And then even more recently, we lost Arnold Ebukam, who seemed to be playing really, really well last year and functioning at a high level in Jeff Ulbricht's system. So one thing Ulbricht said when he said, how do you replace Kaden Ellis if he doesn't come back, is you replace him with multiple players, right? So Kaden Ellis played defensive end, edge, played weak side linebacker, and middle linebacker. That's 3 positions. So how do you do that? We bring in Christian Wood, former second or third round pick, with Houston from Alabama. We bring in Channing Tindall. We re-sign Troy Andersen. We just bring in a whole lot of speed. Everybody on our defense, on our linebackers, all run 4.4s or lower. Yeah, Troy. Now we don't know what Troy Andersen gonna do. He may stay healthy. He may not. He ain't play all last year. But Christian Harris, when healthy, runs a 4.4. Channing Tindall runs a 4.4. Divine Diablo runs a 4.4. We have a lot of speed and a lot of fast flow, quick twitch linebackers to be able to try to fill in that gap of losing Kaden Ellis. And then we also brought in Azeez Ojulari, who's also Samsom Ebukam. I always call him Ebukam. Samsom Ebukam did it again. And Cameron Thompson to be able to replace the pass rushing portion because you lose pass rushing without Kaden Ellis and James Pierce. So the Falcons ain't lie. They said to replace those guys, we have to bring in a bunch of people. They brought in 5 bodies just to replace those 2 people.
I'm trying to be patient. I'm trying to let this man work his plan to the best of his abilities. Do I have a ton of faith? No, I do not. I'm not going to sit here and lie and tell you that I do. But I'm going to be a good soldier, and I'm going to listen, and I'm going to watch. And if it don't work, they're going to fire your ass. The reason that you got this job is because there was nobody else. You are not a lock. You can be fired. Just need you to remember that.
Linebackers. All these linebackers?
No. Everybody. Stefanski too. Everybody can go. And let me tell you, the fans are not. I talked to my dad about this. He's like, yeah, I don't know why they got Stefanski. And then once I kind of said, well, he was the best available, but nobody's. Yeah, you can go now. You can go. Everybody can go.
The door will never be locked. It will always be open.
They did. You just happen to be at the right place at the right time. But let me be very clear. Not one of us is sold on you. You're going to have to sell us and resell us consistently. And I do like that. A person who knows, hey, I'm not far from the door on day one.
Effort. So when it came to our defense, I do like the direction we're going in because our secondary is pretty. I think they're pretty set in the secondary, and they'll probably attack secondary and wide receiver in the draft. That's what I kind of have come to the conclusion with maybe a defensive tackle, a run stuffing defensive tackle. But one thing we always said that we were frustrated with the Falcons last year, and I won't say frustrated because they mastered the defense probably the second half of the season, is sometimes we fell asleep trying to stop the run. When teams realized that their offensive line just overpowered us, i.e. the 49ers, they just give the ball to the running back 100 times. The Panthers beating us 30-0. Like those times we just got ran over. And we always said we just are one run stopping defensive tackle away. Well, they hurt us. We did lose Onyematta. He's 34 though. 33? 34. But we brought back LeCale London and we signed Deshaun Hand, who was an integral part of that defensive line being really good in San Diego for being a run stuffing defensive tackle. And LeCale London, of course, y'all know I love everything about LeCale London when it comes to how he plays defensive tackle.
Yeah, for me, once again, this is going to be the biggest and most important part. I think this would be the linchpin of the defense as far as I'm concerned, because the backers that we have are fast, and we got them so that they can cover. But the defensive tackles are going to have to maintain the trenches. If they get whooped, it's going to be bad.
That's going to get let them O-line climb. You're right.
And all of y'all fired. If you can't control that middle, and I want everybody to know it, you can be fired.
That is the theme. You can be fired.
Yeah. So one thing about this position that we in, I ain't in love with not a soul. If you don't like it, go to hell or go home. Don't care.
Lord, I'm gonna wake up the kids. Yeah, yeah, man. But we also brought in Chris Williams as well as a depth piece. So you pair them or you bring them in and team them up with Dorless, with number 96 Harris, who plays all along the defensive line. as well, and we are pretty good at
The one
defensive
th-
tackle.
the one thing that I will say, as I joke about you possibly being fired at any moment, is this is an opportunity for you to find your space and create your value.
Mm-hmm.
It is uniquely different. There is nobody, there are very few positions and people who are locks. Your name is AJ Terrell, Xavier Watts, Jesse Bates, probably Devon Diablo, Jalen Walker. James Pierce Jr., even you, just because of your actions. Everybody else, you got an opportunity to get you some money here and get you a good job in a good city and a couple dollars. If you act right. If you act wrong, you'll be over there with Elijah Wilkins. Nah, we'll see. Hey, Arizona, they gonna have more openings.
Purgatory. So one thing about us that we've done, we addressed, and this is what I like about the defense, is why I wanted to focus on the defense this time, is because we addressed just about everything you can address where you didn't have to overpay, right? Everything is a quick signing. It's almost the basketball approach now. I'm signing you to 1, 2, or 3 year deals, and it's really 2 with an option or 1 with an option, right? And we did that across the board, and they have a type, long arms, quick twitch. We'll figure everything else out. That's what Jeff Ulbrich likes.
See ball, but get ball.
We also restructured Troy Andersen, AJ Terrell, and Jake Matthews. AJ Terrell gave us $9 million back, and when I say gave us back, it just restructure means how we pay people and when we pay people, but the money and when and how they get paid never changes. So they never see a dip in their paycheck. They never see a change in their paycheck, but how it is reported on the back end was affected. And then Jake Matthews, I think, gave us like $12 million. We were able to kind of restructure him and get $12 million. And then, of course, we restructured Troy Andersen because he ain't play. So I think that is going to leave us time to either make a move, which is what Ian Cunningham comes from in the Bears. They didn't really sit idle. They always went and got people. They always spent money. And we restructured and went a lot of money. And LaJarius Sneed is available, released by the Titans. Injuries, but I think he's still young, relatively. He's in his prime. I think you could get him for a cheap amount or cheaper amount versus what he normally would cost and have him with AJ Terrell. And now our defense, if he could just play comparable to what he used to be as the number 2 corner, is crazy. Now we're crazy.
That puts this secondary in, it fixes the one potential vulnerability that we have in that defense. That makes AJ Terrell your CB1, LaJarius Sneed, CB2, Xavier Watts, and Jesse Bates over the top, and Billy Bowman in the star position or the nickelback, whatever you want to call it. And then you still got Devon Diablo, who is a very fast, high coverage middle linebacker. That makes this defense, which Ulbrich has built from the ground up, and then once again, potentially if James Pierce Jr. pleads out, get a little misdemeanor, maybe he got to sit down. Let me be very clear. When I speak about James Pierce Jr., the thoughts and the opinions have nothing to do with his legal ramifications. You drive cars at women, you go to jail. But once you come through them doors, you at work, you here to do work.
You have a job.
Right. I want to make that clear.
You have a job.
Yes. And hey, let me tell you, Tampa,
clean up.
Nah, Tampa is tight. I think we finally might be turning the corner on y'all. Carolina, I ain't gonna lie. I think I said this last year and y'all proved me wrong. I think y'all might be shifting back I'm telling you, the team that I'm watching out of the NFC South, other than us, is also the Saints. Saints have been making very strategic moves, and nobody has anything to say about them. That is the best time to surprise somebody when nobody's looking. But for us, I like it. I'm excited. I would like us to, if you're going to restructure, take a pretty good safe swing. And I think LaJarius Sneed is a very safe swing.
He definitely is. He definitely is. And then finally, since we did lose Kaden Ellis, D. Alford, and Tyler Allgeier, we get compensatory picks in 2027, get the 5th and 2 6th, which, as Ian Cunningham said, even with that, we will never only have 5 picks again. He said that immediately.
Wait. Don't say nothing stupid like that. If you could get what we got the last time we did it, then do it again. I hate when people are, I would never do this again. If you could get James Pierce Jr. and Xavier Watts and Billy Bowman and do what you did the year before, then you do that. I'm not going to sit here and let you slander Terry Fontenot like that was a poor decision. He knocked that shit out of the park. And if you got the opportunity to knock it out of the park, you stand up there like Mark McGuire, you take your PEDs and do what need be done.
Falcons do be getting fined. Hook or crook, bro. Hook or crook,
bro. Like that is my biggest thing. And I get in these fights with these people about Terry Fontenot. You can say what you want to. We did not do what we needed to last year. This is a team that most people will look at this roster and say, "Hey, man, maybe the only thing you could be mad at." And let's be real here. Let's go back and actually look at Michael Penix. We broke the fucking draft with Michael Penix for 2 years. It ain't been that many guys who've been that much better at the quarterback position and been available.
I don't think Terry Fontenot was fired for his drafting capabilities personally. I mean, he had Kyle Pitts, which controversial. And then he had a lot.
If we're looking at numbers, it can't be controversial. And y'all know I'm not a Pitts still being Atlanta fan supporter. But if we're looking at the original season where he had a legitimate quarterback and this very last season where he was a Pro Bowler, I think that while I would not like to pay that $15 million, you can't say that he was wrong. Well, you can hindsight 50-50 the draft all you want to. That's the only thing. Yeah. But
yeah, that was the point I was making. I wasn't talking about paying him. You passed on the reason Kyle Pitts was controversial is because he's the highest a tight end had ever been drafted. And you drafted him over what turned out to be Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Penei Sewell, J.C. Horn, Patrick Surtain, Devontae Smith, Micah Parsons, Rashawn Slater.
But when you did it,
name a few, Jalen Phillips. No, even when you did it, it was controversial. That was a controversial pick. In the moment, drafting Kyle Pitts at 4 over all of those players was extremely controversial.
And I'm gonna disagree there because if you go back and look at Kyle Trask and Kyle Pitts at Florida. If you didn't draft him,
Jamar Chase or Jalen Waddle or Penei Sewell,
who was the quarterback? Who was the quarterback at LSU?
Don't matter. Don't matter.
I disagree.
You're top 2 receiver. You're top 2 receiver. You could Florida Gator this all you want to. Kyle Pitts was a reach at 4, no matter who he played with at Florida. It was a reach when you had all of these. It was a loaded draft, and it didn't look bad. And then he got hurt, and then it was 2 seasons of nothingness, and then he ended up coming back and playing well at the end of last season. But for the most part, everybody was like, hey, why would you do that?
We can agree to disagree. I think when Kyle Pitts came out, he was a slam dunk pick. And at that point, if I remember correct, that's just what I think.
Y'all in the comments, this going to be the clip. We can clip this up. Clip that. Isn't that what you got to do to the AI?
Yeah.
Clip that. Because we gonna ask
before you get to clipping and before you get to tripping, go back, refresh yourself. Because I think that sometimes people always look and try to put 2026 lenses on, what was that, 2022, whatever that was. Go back and look. refresh yourself and remember Kyle Trask. You don't even know where he is. He a witness protection program.
You keep trying to talk about Kyle Trask like it ain't everybody else in the draft. I will ask y'all. Y'all let me know in the comments. Was Kyle Pitts at overreach at 4 in the moment? How did y'all feel about Kyle Pitts in the moment? Either way,
and find your integrity. Don't get the line because some of y'all don't know the truth. Different conversation for a different day.
Sure. But that was basically now he's in his 5th year. You know, Terry Fontenot, like I said, that's what I was saying. He didn't really get fired for drafting, even though he had a couple years where it was iffy. He got fired because he went with Raheem, and Raheem went with Zach Robinson. That's what got you fired. Everything else is what it is.
And shout out to Terry, who still be podding like he working for the Atlanta Falcons. And let me tell y'all,
job interview.
And let me tell y'all, all of y'all general managers not better than Terry Fontenot. I can give you a couple teams. Now, I'm not sure if I'm Terry Fontenot, to be completely honest, especially after what I just dealt with that last fool, I'm very selective about the next place that I go. Because I do think that if you actually pull out his track record of his selections and transactions, he doing all right from the plate.
Clip that too. Y'all let us know how y'all feel about Terry Fontenot. Go back and look. I think he had about 2 really good drafts. Yeah, we'll see.
How many years?
5?
Wait, ain't no way. That last draft that we had was a slam dunk. Bijan is an MVP. What was the draft where we got Bergeron?
That was the draft before. That was the draft after. That was either Kyle Pitts draft or draft after Kyle Pitts.
That was Drake London.
Drake London.
I'm a Terry Fontenot disciple to the end. And y'all know me
we can tell. We can tell.
Ride or die, bad boys for life. When he can't do no wrong in my book. And I ain't gonna say he can't do no wrong in my book. I think he's done a lot of right. And y'all have to remember who we had before. He who shall not be named. So I done came from a bad situation. So to see somebody sometimes you gotta remember your humble beginnings.
Well, we'll see. Maybe he's the bridge to get us to where we need to go. When it comes to the rest of the league, and that's it for Falcons Focus. I really like I'm always gonna like what we're doing. I'm a Falcons fan, but I like
not me
where we're going because I feel that I can see the plan, and that's basically what Arthur Blank Consulting Firm came in and did. Said that they wanted a plan, and you can kind of see the plan moving forward. Now, I'm interested to see with the draft what we're gonna do and how we're gonna play this. But for now, I understand what they're doing.
And let me tell you, the draft strategy is not blame Terry because you have 5 picks. I don't want to hear that.
It's already that play already been played. That script written. Never mind. I was about to get us politically removed. Either way, let's move on to NFL. What the hell is happening in Baltimore? Well, we know what happened. The Baltimore Ravens were about to trade 2 first-round picks, 2026, I think it was the 14, 2027 pick as well for Max Crosby from the Las Vegas Raiders. From the Las Vegas Raiders. And he was in the building in Baltimore when they backed out and said that he failed a physical. And then they ended up signing Trey Hendrickson like the same day. And it all started with the Lamar Jackson leak where he said boom, and then Max Crosby was announced. The league, specifically the Ravens front office, has taken a pummeling in the media, to say the least. They're talking about the front office. People are not going to want to deal with them. They said they failed Max Crosby on an injury for his knee that everybody already knew about. And basically, when you fail somebody's physical, I didn't know until all of this came out that you have the discretion of when to fail their physical, meaning you can pass them if you want them, right? You could pass them. They may have had a shoulder injury, but if you want them and at the right price, you can say, we'll still pass you, and we'll just say you're going to rehab your shoulder or whatever, right? So with Max Crosby, that means they failed him on purpose because alleged by Oakland, Max Crosby's agent and everything is that they knew about the knee, they knew about the surgery and everything to get Trey Hendrickson, and had Trey Hendrickson on the way to the building when Max Crosby is being sent home. That's
y'all ain't gonna like. Y'all ain't gonna like what I got to say.
What you got to say?
This is the right decision. What you were able to do was to occupy one guy, and the other guy who was available, hey, you interested in coming here? Yeah, I'd love to come there. Now I don't have to give up those 2 draft picks, which I said in this very podcast last week that y'all should like, follow, and subscribe. That, hey, the first draft, the first number 1, perfectly fine. You had no means to draft a guy as good as Max Crosby in this draft. Not for this very next season. But that second first-round pick is mighty expensive. I said, I think I might have tried to wanted to go for a second or a third. 2 firsts is big money. Way too big money. And now you can walk out of that deal. You can get a proven commodity. Now, depending on what you like, you might want Max Crosby a little bit more than Hendrickson. I completely understand that. But with that being said, being able to keep those 2 first-round draft picks as assets is extremely valuable for the Ravens. Now, the other part about this is, Raiders, y'all were able to do a lot of things with the expectation of moving him around. And somehow y'all were able to make all of those moves and still have Max Crosby come back. So I'm going to say that I think that they may have done you guys a favor too, because now this is what your defense looks like. And let me tell you, it is much improved. It is scary at all 3 levels. And I know that nobody liked it. I remember when I first saw it, I immediately said, what the fuck is going on? And then I got in the chat and everybody else said, what the fuck happened? So I know that it's not typical. I know that's not how things typically go, but this may be a situation where a transaction was going to be great for everybody and an untransaction might be just as great for everybody.
Yeah, bringing in Kwity Paye. Nakobe Dean was probably one of the higher rated free agents from the Eagles. At linebacker, when he's healthy, he is on fire. And then Quay Walker, his buddy from Georgia, went there as well, leaving Green Bay, and they kept Malcolm Kuntz, which is a big deal. And then they added Eric Stokes, who everybody needed to change the scenery. Nickelback Johnson, you brought in Chin, Palo Mal, and Porter. Everybody, they're a level above like last chance. This is not their last chance. If this doesn't work, all of them will be able to get other jobs. This is also proven that I can still play. And they all got like similar deals. I think they got like 3 years, 42, 3 years, 39, 3 years, 40. So they gave everybody the same deal, which we talked about in the NBA. They did it in the NBA, and now you're starting to see it, and now you're starting to be able to build rosters a little better. Because the Eagles knocked it out the park drafting wise. You got to be able to keep up some way.
What I like about this group of guys is they're all motivated and they're all capable. You're going to be able to, you have put together a strong defense here. Now, your quarterback situation and going after Fernando Mendoza, I don't know. I still don't think that that's necessarily the wisest decision. That's also not my problem. But this defense, I think that you put together is highly impressive. Now, I think that I would have I could see how you could value those 2 first-round picks, though, because you could have went after offensive linemen to potentially protect
which is what
Mendoza, Right. But this ain't bad. This ain't bad.
If they can all perform well, it's good. Now which tells me that they're going to use the draft to build their offense. Obviously, they already got Genty. They're going to get Mendoza. Obviously, they're going to try to build their offensive line and probably get another. They've traded away all their receivers, so so they got to probably get some receivers in the draft as well. So we'll keep an eye on the Raiders and the Ravens as well, because I want to see what they're going to do with that 14. They need a wide receiver.
We're going to laugh at the Ravens because somehow they're going to find a way to get a receiver who's 85 years old. I thought that y'all was going to end up with Calvin Ridley, but he restructured and stayed with the Titans. So I guess that ain't going to happen. But y'all find a way to find somebody. Maybe y'all see if Dez Bryant is available.
In some smaller moves, there was Jonathan Allen, who goes to the Bengals. He said that you can't succeed with the Minnesota Vikings in old boys defense. I think he left though, and no, he's back. Who's the defensive coordinator for the Vikings? Who's the Brian Flores? In Brian Flores' defense, he said that you can't succeed, but I think he's back. So now he goes to the Bengals. That adds some really good depth. And I'm sorry, that adds a defensive lineman, a really good proven defensive lineman to that team that needs defensive help. And then also Justin Fields to the Chiefs, which is interesting. Him and Gardner Minshew, I guess, will duke it out for playing the
Gardner Minshew is quarterback 3. And Justin Fields, you're trying to do a couple things here. Number one, he's a insurance policy. If Mahomes is not ready on day 1, he can still
not going to be ready on day 1.
Right. I think we all know that. And I think that in that meantime, Andy Reid can do what nobody else can do. He's going to be able to tell you, hey, do this. And all you got to do is do what he tells you. This is an asset that you may rehab. You can keep it as an insurance policy, because let's be real. Even when Mahomes come back, you got to be careful with that. And you got to have a guy who can play somewhat like he can if you still want to be competitive. And I think that they want to be competitive. I think that I'm talking about in the ability to move the pocket, move around. Justin Fields is not Patrick Mahomes. I hate when I do that. When I give y'all a comparable and then y'all be, well, he ain't ain't nobody Patrick Mahomes. Not a soul on this planet. But you got to get close.
Justin Fields can't throw the ball over the middle of the field. And that's the same thing. So
he's going to throw the ball anyway. He's going to run the ball.
But I'm interested to see Justin Fields with Andy Reid. So that will be interesting as well, because he may be able to get him some money. But when it comes to quarterbacks, y'all know why we here. Kyler Murray to the Minnesota Vikings, which now leaves Kirk Cousins without a job because everybody thought he was going there. Kyler Murray
you can say your piece, and then I don't.
Kyler Murray gets his release from the Cardinals. He goes to the Vikings, which now means they have officially given up on JJ McCarthy.
So fast. So furious.
He's officially out of there. I ain't going to lie to you now. Kyler Murray, Jordan Andersen, and Justin Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson is a crazy air attack. Now they're going to need, I think they brought Jones back, or they may have let him go. I think they need another running back, which I'm surprised they didn't go for Allgeier. But if they can get a running back, I ain't gonna lie to you, this is not a bad move.
This is a very good Madden move. Excellent Madden
He's
move.
A Madden player.
Let me tell you, this team on Madden is about to be hellacious. Application of this, I still don't trust it. I do understand in a moment of weakness, getting Kyler Murray was very wise. I can't remember an old boy name who's the general manager before. He made a terrible move in letting Sam Darnold go to win a Super Bowl, and also taking JJ McCarthy, who I think I've said a million times, we've never seen throw the ball well.
Never.
The best thing that you can do sometimes is realize you fucked up. And when you realize, hey, I blew it, let me get out of there. I think that out of the QBs that are available, Kyler probably still second best. Y'all know my answer is always Jameis.
Ooh, shit. You what? Hold on. Hold
Go
on.
ahead,
You would
ask
rather
me the
take
question.
Jameis over Kyler Murray if you're the
Yes.
Viking?
Yes. Because, well, did they cut
Speak your
Kyler?
piece.
Did they
Yes.
cut Kyler?
Yes.
Oh, then yeah. Then Kyler. So it's tricky. It's trickier that they cut him, so he's not as expensive. I think that Jameis does better for your locker room. Kyler has that Oklahoma Sooner. Everybody don't like him. And you guys got to get to liking each other soon, or Justin Jefferson is going to leave. He is the linchpin for all of this working and not working. I think
Go ahead.
I think that Kyler will at least throw the ball well enough and do a good job in keeping him with enough targets and catches that he will be happy. I don't know how this goes, especially if they win a couple games and Kyler Murray begins to feel himself, because we do know that when Kyler does well, he has a very large, or what has been communicated to us is he has a large ego. I don't know how that's going to work.
We go, Kev.
But
No, no. We're not gonna step over that.
yeah.
Kyler Murray. There's no way if I'm Minnesota. First off, you bringing Jameis Winston to be a starting quarterback in Minnesota, Justin Jefferson is closer to the door than he is with Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, of all the quarterbacks that were cut or released, is the best one. Even the ones that were re-signed is the best one almost by far. By far. And they got him and paired him with an established receiver. Shit, Kyler Murray could look crazy in Minnesota. He can throw the ball down the field. He has a rocket arm. He's fast. He can in the pocket. All those things. Now, as long as if I'm Minnesota, I'm locking him. I'm pulling a Jerry Jones. I got security detail on you. I'm going to pay for all your subscriptions and everything. I need to make sure that matter of fact, I'm going to live right next to you. And we're going to get up and study this playbook together. This is trying to get everybody else paid, bro. I'm trying to keep my job. You trying to get another contract. We trying to keep Justin Jefferson here. Everything aligns with you being mature for 1 year. You literally just have to be mature for 1 year.
I hate to tell you, but we've seen a long list of Oklahoma Sooners. One thing that they do not have, and what city is that they play in? Norman is at the leadership position. They get out of control.
Interesting coming from you.
Say no. Speak your piece.
Your guy is Baker, and Baker is literally doing exactly if Kyler, and that's what I was about to say. If Kyler Murray were to call Baker and just run that playbook, 1 year, prove it deal, like you did in the Buccaneers, you'll get another, and you'll probably get more than $33 million a year. You'll probably get 35. So all you have, Kyler, is 1 year. Call Baker. Y'all should have a text group, therapy line, support. It could work. And I'm taking him over Jameis. I'm taking him over who else? Everybody. There's not one quarterback that was signed that I would take over Kyler Murray.
Okay.
including Tua.
And not to mention the other part about this is he gonna want to be paid a lot of money again too if he has a good season. What you gonna pay him?
Everybody's gonna want to get paid if they have a good season.
What you gonna give him?
What? I don't know. Depends on what season you have. He's top 5. Hey, it's tough. But if you have top 20 season, hey, I pay you. Sure. Now I am surprised, and there was also Geno Smith, but I don't know who he signed with. He's been released as well. So it's Geno Smith out there as well. I am surprised that the Indianapolis Colts did not go after Kyler Murray and instead kept Lieutenant Dan. And then gave him $42 million a year and signed into a multi-level contract.
That Shane Steichen staff, say that 3 times fast, is trying to stay there. I think that they do understand that the Irsay ladies are running a good program. And I think that they're going to be progressive. I think they're going to be aggressive. I don't think that that's going to be a poverty franchise. I think that those women are actually going to make that franchise way better than what their daddy was doing. And I think that if you understand that if you can go to a place where you enjoy working, the person enjoys spending money, and they're going to do everything they can to win, then I want to stay there. And I think that that's the reason they paid Daniel Jones, is they're trying to have some consistency and figure it out with him. And if you start over, we might be starting over in another city in a few months, which could still happen.
I don't see how you. First off, Irsay and the Colts have been really good for a long time. Now they did have a lull, but they were good for. So
I don't think
it's gonna be hard to top.
I don't think that was thanks to Jim Irsay. I think that was Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison. And then you can also see that I'm talking about overall. Hold on. Let me finish.
Robert has nothing to do with New England.
Well, hold on. Let me finish. Also, organizationally, I think that the indictment that shows that they weren't doing things right was Peyton Manning does not go back to Indy for anything ever.
That's a different conversation.
That all goes into organizational for me. If your guy doesn't want to go back, and there's no way in hell that Peyton Manning should be more interested in being in Denver. That's like Joe Montana going back to Kansas City. Sure, it was okay there, but bro,
it's not. Peyton won a Super Bowl.
Yes, but your time, your greatness was established in Indy. He is never in Indy, never says anything about Indy, nothing positive about Indy. Nah, there's something there. It's like Julio in Atlanta, to be completely honest.
Cool. I disagree there. There's I don't think that has to do with what I was talking about. But if I'm Shane Steichen and I'm trying to keep my job, I'm not paying Daniel Jones $42 million and Kyler Murray is out there. There's no way. Daniel Jones has been hurt every year except for the year he needed a contract. Every year. He tore his Achilles after coming back. He tore his Achilles while playing on a broke leg coming back from a torn ACL. And you paid him $42 million? And you would take him over Kyler Murray? You talking about Jameis Winston? Y'all out of y'all mind. All of y'all who say that, y'all, I'm not gonna say I hope Kyler Murray, whatever Kyler Murray does, I ain't gonna hang my hat on none of that. But y'all are out of y'all ever loving mind. If y'all think y'all would take Lieutenant Dan, Jameis, Justin Fields, Tua, Kirk Cousins, who else was signed? Geno Smith. Who else was signed? There were other quarterbacks that were signed.
Geno probably the only
there's
starter
no way that you would take over. And Kyler Murray's a Pro Bowl. There's no way you would take anybody over Kyler Murray in this year. No way. And y'all out y'all mind.
I honestly don't think that there was that big of a market for Kyler Murray. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I also appreciate that the Lord knew I couldn't take it, boy. If Kyler Murray came to Atlanta, I'd have quit sports. I promise. It would
That'd
have
have
been
been the
over for me.
meanest troll. I ain't gonna lie and say I wanted it to happen, but I
You
would have
wanted
loved for it to happen. That would have been the meanest troll for you to get rid of
Yo.
one short Oklahoma player for a night.
Yo,
That
and you know how you be thinking to yourself, this is the type of thing that only happens to me. If we had got
I would love it. I would love it. I ain't gonna lie to you. That would be the shot. That would be our permanent Falcons
I'd have been
focus.
done.
Just
I'd have been done. I'd have been done. Because at that point, it's me. I'm never gonna have nice things. I don't deserve to be happy. You know how much I dislike the first iteration of this, and now you're gonna swap it out for the exact same thing, but in the football version. Bruh, come on now. Damn. The president already wilding. We at war. Gas costs too much. Eggs cost too much. Bread costs too much. Bruh, help me. And he knew I couldn't take it. I'm gonna tell y'all, I would have cried in the car. I've been on this podcast crying every Sunday.
But with that being said, we've come to the end of the football segment of the Falcons focus as well as free agency. There are a few other moves. I'm not going to act like they weren't, but those were the big moves that we wanted to focus on because I had never seen anything like the Ravens thing that happened. And then the Falcons, again, raising our floor. With that being said, we're going to take a quick break. Then we're going to be right back for the Falcons. Sorry, for the Hawks talk.
Hey, man. We're going to come back and talk about 10 of them things
in a row.
The rest of this podcast will be brought to you by Magic City, baby. It's still Magic City Monday.
It's still fuck Luke Cornett.
Man, Luke.
All day.